Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I promise to have a beautiful ending to the story. We're having a baby. I was a newlywed, 35, and 13 weeks pregnant. I was a mom-to-be. I was having a good pregnancy, just not a pleasant one. I had this intense morning sickness. I only felt well when I was sleeping. I had heartburn, nausea, vomiting, fatigue. Several times during my pregnancy, I was really dehydrated. I'd have to go to the urgent care. They'd send me to the hospital. I'd get rehydrated. I'd go home. I'd feel well, and then I'd start that cycle all over again. The morning. I had a really long commute to work. If those who are from this area, I lived in Frederick, and I worked at the NIH in Bethesda. I spent the time thinking about new mom thoughts. Everything from names to genders to what we're gonna do, what our life was gonna be like. My husband and I were expanding our family past our 2 dogs. Also, I spent some of the time thinking about how I was gonna get through the workday because I was gonna be sick through the entire day. Soon after I started my day that morning, my morning sickness seemed to be worsening. The heartburn was really burning, my nausea had intensified, and I was really, really hot. I tried to fan myself using my left arm and I couldn't. My jaws felt like they were tightening. You know, I thought if I could just get a minute to collect myself. So I decided to go to my car, something I had done frequently before whenever I felt sick. I'd go, take a couple minutes, collect myself, get back to work. This morning, on the way to walking to my car, I realized that I couldn't walk in my heels. It was just very hard. I had to take my shoes off. I walked in my bare feet, got to my car. Inside my car, I peeled off a layer of clothes and I rolled the windows down halfway because I was just so hot. I have to tell you, it was March 15th here in Washington, D.C., and it was really cold that morning. I tried to get comfortable and I just could not find a position. The burning in my chest was radiating to my shoulders, my arm was limp, my jaw was tight, and I had this really painful headache. I thought to myself, gosh, my morning sickness is really aggressive today. I need to get to the urgent care. I drove myself to the urgent care. I had an EKG done. The doctor came in and said, "You're having a heart attack." I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, "That's impossible. I'm just a healthy 35-year-old pregnant woman that was just at work earlier this morning." Shortly after that, I was being pushed into the belly of a medevac. I can tell you that it's a 22-minute flight from Frederick to Johns Hopkins. It was well-orchestrated chaos. When I arrived, everybody was there. I had emergency surgery. I would end up spending 10 days in the coronary care intensive care unit at Hopkins. In one morning, I managed to have a heart attack, have to be airlifted, have emergency surgery, spend 10 days in the coronary care intensive care unit at Hopkins, but most importantly, I lost that baby. All those thoughts of baby earlier that day were now gone. How did I allow this to happen? That night when it was quiet and I had a chance to reflect on the day's events, I realized that I didn't know what the signs of a heart attack were. I missed all the classic signs of a heart attack. It was not my morning sickness. I missed it all because I'd never taken the time to learn what the signs of a heart attack were, never taken the time to learn about women and their heart health. I realized also that I had a few blind spots that morning. Those were that I was young, I was healthy, I was pregnant, and I was having terrible morning sickness. Those things grounded me in the belief that it was my morning sickness. However, my biggest blind spot was that I did not recognize some classic signs of a heart attack. Consequently, I lost a baby. The fallout. A year later, my heart functionality was still so poor, I needed to have a defibrillator implanted because I was at risk for sudden cardiac death. I also needed to have my tubes tied because now pregnancy was completely not an option for me. The recovery. The physical and mental journey back to wellness. My primary focus was on my physical because I knew that if I hit all those milestones, my train would move forward again. I hit every milestone. I increased my physical activity. I adjusted my nutrition. I had these great relationships with my care team. I kept my appointments. I took my medicines as scheduled. All these milestones were going to keep me here, keep me alive. I focused so much on the physical wellness that I neglected my mental wellness. I had layers and layers of trauma. I was living in darkness for a very long time, in a house created by a very unfortunate event, a house of loss, of grief, of guilt, of devastation. My incredible family, and by the way, my sister is here tonight. Nat, I love you, and you are everything to me. I have brothers as well, Patrick and Jason, and I love them too. Maybe not as much as her, but I love them too. My incredible family, my support system, my amazing care teams, all the shoulders that I stood on to see light were never going to be enough to get me out of that darkness. I needed two things. I needed professional help, but I also needed a place where there were women like me, a place where there were similar stories, where someone understood my triggers, where someone understood my anxiety when I felt anything between my belly button and my neck. What it felt like to prepare for yet another heart surgery, or what it felt like to have a call from your care team that absolutely gutted you. I needed that place, anything to make living in survivorship less lonely. Go Red for Women. Then I found the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women campaign, and ladies and gentlemen, I had landed on my planet. This space, just for me, everything I needed to know about women's heart health, right here. Real women sharing real stories. Life beyond a heart event. I was elated. The American Heart Association and Go Red for Women became the cornerstone of my healing. I am forever grateful to the American Heart Association for gifting me Go Red. It feels like the gift that keeps on giving. As a spokesperson for Go Red for Women, I am again forever grateful for this unique opportunity to have a platform, to have a space, to share my story, to educate, raise awareness, and be an advocate for women's heart health. Excuse me. I fully understand how small pieces of very important information can be life-changing. I believe in this mission, and I am committed to trying to give back all that I've received from the American Heart Association and Go Red. I recently celebrated 20 years of survivorship, and 15 of those have been with Go Red for Women doing this, and I call it living in survivorship out loud. This includes an awareness of not being alone in my survivorship. Since I started sharing my story, every room I stand in, I find others, people who have gone through a heart attack or stroke, or have cared for someone who has. In this room tonight, there are many who have stories to tell. We heard from Barbara Bassin and Neil Martin, but also there's Dennis Yee and Michael Boyd. I see you, and I can't wait to hear your story. Over these years, the American Heart Association has helped me see that I am not alone in this. We shouldn't feel alone in celebrating life, of living as survivors. We are strong, vibrant people committed to taking back our lives. The beautiful ending. I no longer live in that dark house. I live in one that I've created with the help of the American Heart Association. This one has a very bright future. It was built on resilience and bravery, strength, self-love, whole wellness. It's also built on the courage to be vulnerable. But most importantly, it was built because of a purpose. The purpose is to advance the mission of the American Heart Association, to improve and save lives. Tonight, we share this unified purpose because we all believe in the mission of saving lives. Thank you so much and enjoy your evening.